Hello everyone. So I found this tiger model of the P-40 Warhawk. I've been searching online for many months trying to find this model kit. I finally found one on eBay, but it was $45. So this is a person in China that's willing to make the kit and paint the kit for 450 yuan, which is like $62 at today's exchange rate. Granted, I had to pay an extra 15 or so dollars to ship it to me. But that's what I decided to do. Rather than build it, I'll just pay extra to have this person make it for me. So anyways, you can look at this up. You got to use Google Chrome if you're going to run Taobao because this is a Chinese website. But you can pretty much figure it out when Chrome translates it all. I've ordered several things off this website already. Okay, well, it showed up in this cardboard box. And then we have this little business card. There's the Taobao website, and you can email directly, I suppose. If you maybe want to scan that QR code. Okay. And we got some nice like computer-like foam here. And then it's taped in this little foam. Let's see what's the best way to get this out. Maybe cut these tapes here on these sides. Alright. So, seems pretty good so far. All accessories in that bag. The propeller's down in here. Be very careful. Oh boy. I gotta get this out. Hopefully it doesn't snag anything. And there we go. Where are the landing gear? Must be in that bag. Alright, so the person took a lot of time making sure that got to me safely, which is great. Okay, reading some Wikipedia and the other internet stuff. So the Curtiss P-40 Warhawk was a fighter bomber, first flew in 1938 and was made up until 1944. Over 13,000 of them were made, so it's the third most populous Allied aircraft after the P-51 Mustang and the Thunderbolt. So the Brazilians even flew this plane up until 1958. So it doesn't get too much credit for being an awesome plane, but over 200 Allied fighters became fighter aces flying this thing, so it was pretty good after all. And then this particular number 47, this plane seems to exist today. It was part of the Flying Tigers group, and that was an American volunteer group that flew in China to help suppress the Japanese. In that group, the Flying Tigers destroyed 297 enemy aircraft and only lost 4 aircraft of their own. That's an amazing statistic. And then this number 47 was originally given to pilot Johnny Petach. I'm not sure if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, of course. So anyways, that's what's going on there. Well, now that I've put it together, I can compare a little bit to these photos. Very, very cartoon for sure. Look how short it is compared to the real thing. The thing has really plain wheels. This just is a disc with some 4 bolts, which I assume is what this thing ran in real life. I like the tiger shark mouth there. Okay, so I'm having the paint's a little tight on this drop tank, so I think I'm gonna have to. I gotta scrape some more paint off. Hold on. So scraping the paint off, the original plastic was this olive drab color. Let's see if that did enough to. There is an index there. Boy, still, it's kind of tight. This is a hexagonal hole. You would think it wouldn't be so difficult to put in, but once I do get it in, it definitely won't come out. Boy, that's still too tight though. Let me come back again. So this one has a wingspan of around 12 centimeters, or around almost 5 inches, I would say. Alright, starting from the bottom. Yeah, nice panel gap details and stuff, all these panels and stuff. I have no clue what this would be, right? Why are there all these recessed rectangles there? I don't think it has anything to do with the landing gear. But I like how this has some ribs and it's painted this yellowish color. Okay. Pour putty or something here. Alright. So I think, I don't know, I kind of thought this was the Royal, I guess that must be the Chinese Air Force, right? Symbol. I thought it was Taiwan. But anyways, the Flying Tigers, I guess, was some sort of Chinese-based aerial group. Alright, it's got flaps that move slightly. It's an interesting detail they put in. Some nice little rivet details for the panels there. And then we have these 3 machine guns here, 50 cals in the wing. And the landing gear, yeah, so it's painted silver. It's got 2 pegs going in there. And then decals for the wheels seem to be okay. You can spin the wheels as you can see. This one does not spin, it's just trapped, I think, by the fuselage, so this must have been painted after the fact. But it does have some lug nut details. Alright, interesting. And then some sort of vent, it looks like here. Some putty was used to fill in this panel gap here. The decals wrapping around, some doors here for the landing gear. Big rear vent here, it goes in quite a bit. And again, I think some putty was used to fill in the seam of the 2 halves. Alright, so let's see, we got these big domes in front of the landing gear. And then this side, yeah, looks pretty good. This side has this, I don't know, maybe it's a speed sensor or something. Not sure, some sort of probe painted silver is a separate part, it looks like. And then the propeller painted very nicely, red. And then we have some decals on the blades themselves, 3 of them. Well, 2 decals, sorry. This maybe is paint, but anyhow, it's nicely done. And then here in the intakes, that's interesting. Why would there be these round things there? Not sure. Please leave a comment if you know what those are. There's a big intake up here as well. Just darkness. Okay. Then the exhausts are painted like a metallic gray, I say. I wouldn't say they're silver. They're a little darker than that. These are just flat on the back side. And then you have more rivet marks in these panel details. Some little venting details looking nice. Yeah, well, I don't know, some sort of round thing. The little track for the cabin to slide back on. Although it doesn't on the real model, that is. The decal is nice. Yeah, Flying Tigers there. This shark face is nice. This little red stripe is going all the way around. That's difficult to do. The underside of these little rear wings is gray just as well, and there's some panel wash going in there. Yeah, I guess panel wash everywhere, help bringing out those details. The bottom is nicely masked off from the top. Yeah. And then yeah, the camo is nice. It's like an olive drab with a tan. Faded really nice. I can't do this. I have like 5 airbrushes and I can't airbrush this nice. Yeah. Because I use water-based paints. I don't know, I just can't, I haven't figured out the thinning ratio. It always sputters out paint. Maybe this is alcohol-based. So very nice camo job, very cool. And then the little green and red wing markers there on the top, not on the bottom, interesting. Alright, decals here, not sure what those are, but a lot of panel gaps again on the wings. The cabin is nicely masked off, right? Raised, you know, this cabin isn't raised as much as the other ones I've seen. So I'm glad I didn't have to do this myself. That's what makes painting airplane model kits so annoying, is the cabins. They don't design them very smart. They should design them where the painted stuff is just a groove and you could just fill it in with paint, but no, they're always raised. So you gotta mask off all the clear stuff and then remove it afterwards. I assume this was masked off with tape because the it's not liquid mask. Alright, I don't know what's going on back behind this one. I don't know if that's masking tape. It might be masking tape there. I don't know if this thing comes off. I think it might be glued shut. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be there because back behind the seat it's like the same color, that yellow. But I almost feel like maybe those should be transparent all the way, because why else would you have a window there if not to see through? I don't know the answer to that. Leave a comment. Okay, well, the registration number here matches up with the photograph. This little antenna is nice because it's actually not too thin. It might survive being dropped. Might, not saying for sure. And then again, more panel gaps here, really nicely done. The paint wash in them really helps bring out those details. I gotta say, it's well done. Better than I could ever paint it, that's for sure. So that's why I paid to have it done. Very, very good work. This person on that Taobao site is not just this airplane. He sells other painted models that are realistic looking. So it's not just about deformed stuff. He does have a few other deformed things, and some sci-fi things, but yeah, the person paints realistic models as well. So yeah, if you don't want to go through the hassle of painting stuff, I recommend this person, but you're gonna have to get on Taobao. So yeah, the cockpit, there's a gray seat, brown headrest, and then you can see that the gauges there. Those are actually three-dimensional gauges. I'm gonna guess the model kit did come with a blank panel that uses a decal, but this is a three-dimensional panel. I don't know if there's a decal on it, but it looks pretty good. Different color of the flight stick there as well. Maybe some pedals down there on the far side, I'm not sure, or switches. Yeah, I only wish I could open this because I'd like to put a pilot in here. So I did manage to wiggle off that canopy, and yes, it is not tape. It just looks like hobby tape, so nope, that's purposely done. I have my own little 3D printed pilots. I didn't even bother putting arms on them, but this guy will hopefully fit in there pretty well. Okay, hopefully they'll fit under the cockpit. Let's see. So you got these 4 tabs, friction tabs, just holding the cockpit in place. Yeah, it's pretty tight, pretty tight. That side looks good. Alright, so, well, yeah, my pilot's, well, that's as good as it's gonna get, I guess. Maybe I could have turned its head sideways, but whatever. So this model kit, there's no hole for a flight stand. I mean, I guess you could drill one out, but I don't know if I'm going to bother doing that, putting a hole there. I might just leave it on the ground. Alright, so other planes here. We have this Tiger model of the Key 84, and I did this one myself. Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward build. Now Hasegawa, they have the egg planes. They're, I think, the originators of deformed airplanes. This is the Mitsubishi Zero, and it's got really big wings. It literally looks like an egg with wings. So, but at some point in time, they do make better ones, I think. This is the Mustang by Hasegawa. And now it doesn't look like an egg so much because they have panel gaps on it. This one is just smooth. So the Mustang's much cooler. And this one, this livery, Stinger something, 7 or something, this was in the Pacific Theater as well. I don't know if it was part of the Flying Aces group. Probably not, but... So I prefer, you know, these 3 just being deformed airplanes, whereas this egg one, it literally looks like an egg with wings. It's definitely different, but I prefer just straight up deformation. So anyways, they're all pretty easy model kits to make in the realm of model kit building. But yeah, that's it. You don't have to take them so seriously because they're not realistic. Yeah, for some reason, this model kit's really hard to find. And that's why I ended up, you know, buying it painted. And I'm glad I did, because For me to duplicate this amount of effort would take me 10 hours, I bet. So initially, if you think $60, $75 is a lot of money for this, I guess it is, but you have to ask yourself, how much money can you make in 10 hours? Even if you worked at Taco Bell, you would make more than $70 in 10 hours, right? Although with taxes, who knows? Okay, and Taco Bell is delicious. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next airplane deformed video. Bye.